Hello guys. So today I'm going to explain you how can we solve this problem missing a point from July challenge 2020. This is from Codechef, and the problem says that we are given n rectangles, and these are axis parallel rectangles in a 2D Cartesian coordinate system. So basically, if we consider a 2D xy coordinate system, so the rectangle sides are always parallel to the rectangles, always parallel to the axis. So it is also given that the rectangles may intersect, and but there is one more guarantee, that all of them are pairwise distinct. So basically, out of these four n vertices, there is one vertex which is missing, and we have to find that particular missing vertex. I mean the coordinates of the missing vertex. So I've drawn few rectangles here, and let's consider this xy plane. And so basically, so just to explain you how can rectangles possibly be in this coordinate system, is that they should all their sides should always be parallel to the axis. They can intersect, they can overlap, but what not can happen is that the vertices of two rectangles shouldn't be basically, yeah, I just started moving this one actually. So yeah, it cannot happen that the vertices of two rectangles are actually overlapping. So yeah, you can see here, this particular thing is not possible. So this cannot happen, also something like this cannot happen. So basically all vertices are pairwise distinct, so one vertex cannot be shared by more than cannot be shared by two or more rectangles. So yeah, this is what the rectangles would look like in this code 2D coordinate system. And what we are supposed to do, we are given all the four n vertices out of it. Yeah, actually we are given four n minus 1 vertices of this n rectangles, and we need to find the missing one. So let's see how can we solve this one. And the simplest observation that we can make here is that for each x coordinate there are even number of y corresponding coordinates. All right, so basically, for example, if we take this coordinate, then we can see that there are two y coordinates. All right, and if we take this one also, we can see there are two y coordinates. Similarly here, for and this happens, actually I forgot to mention that this happens in case when the all the rectangles are in normal form. That means none of the points are missing. So in that case, because it is given that no vertices will be shared by more than one, actually two or more rectangles, then what is also guaranteed is that for each x coordinate, the number of corresponding y coordinates would be even always. So if we take this one also, and yeah, if we take here any so basically, even if we draw something somewhere here, so let me just quickly draw one actually. And so what I was saying is, if we have something like this, there are two rectangles, so now they are intersecting and overlapping as well, but their vertices are not shared. All right, but as you can see, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. So basically, for these two x coordinate, there are actually even number of y coordinates. All right, so similarly for each y coordinates, we can see that there are even number of x coordinates as well. And the case when there is one point missing, so basically if we just erase this one, for example, this point is missing. Now there is no to this rule that we just discussed doesn't hold true now. So for example, if you see here, this coordinate, this x coordinate does not have two corresponding y coordinates, or actually even number of corresponding y coordinates. And similarly for this y coordinate, you can see there is only one, exactly one x coordinate. So basically for this particular height, we don't have any more x coordinates. So this is odd. All right, so for this, from this, what we can just find out is that we can just store the count of each x coordinate and each y coordinate, and then find out which particular coordinate count is odd. That means which particular coordinate is occurring odd number of time for both x and y, and that will be our missing point. So Yeah, if you can just observe here, so this is what the x coordinate. Oh, let me just take this pane. So this is what the x coordinate will be for this one. So this is the point that is missing, and similarly this would be the y coordinate which is missing. All right, which will have the odd number of x coordinates, corresponding x coordinate for y, and odd number of y coordinates corresponding to each x. So yeah, let's see how can we code this one. So, yeah, before looking into the code, I just want to also mention a point that these coordinate can be from minus 10 raised to the power 9 to plus 10 raised to the power 9. That means they are very huge in numbers, and we cannot simply store in normal data structure, that is in vectors or in array, to keep the count of each x coordinate and each y coordinate. So we would need some sort of either set or a map which would help us find the answer here. So here you can see that I have used set, and if we just simply try to use map, let's say for example like this, ms and y, or xm and ym, and instead of instead of doing all these things that I've done here, which I'll explain in a moment, what we could have simply done is, for each x coordinate we would just simply increase the count, and for each y coordinate also we would just increase the count, and in the end we can iterate over each of our x and each of these map, and just find out for which particular value stored in these maps we are getting the odd number of count. But if you can look closely, maps are not that efficient, so even insertion would take some time. Also they are, so yeah, one more thing we could have done is simply store these count in unordered map, but even that wouldn't pass this big these very tight constraints which are given to us, that there are total 2 raised to power 2 into 10 raised to power 5 rectangles. That means they could be as many as 8 into 10 raised to power 5, or almost 10 raised to power 6 for coordinates which are given to us, and each of them are too huge. Right, so basically this is what we can do. So instead of doing this, what we could have also observed is that we only need to know whether a particular element occurs even number of time or odd number of times. So as soon as we see that this element is already there existing, so we could simply ignore or erase that instance, and also ignore the current instance, so that we don't have to keep count, and in the end whichever is remaining would be the one which is our answer. So for example, what we have done is I have tried to store all these coordinates into set, and what I'm doing is I'm checking whether this particular number is already existing into our set or not. If it does exist, that means we can erase that one and ignore the current input as well, just to simulate that there are even number of this particular coordinate. And if we don't see this one, that means either there hasn't been any such input till now, or there has been, but they were erased because of their even parity. So we would now insert one, so that if we get someone similar number ahead in the future, we would just simply erase this one, otherwise this would be our answer. And the same holds true for y as well. And in the end our set will have exactly one value for each x and y, and that will be our answer. And that's what I'm printing here. And I hope you guys are familiar with set data structure very well, and I will upload a link to my video where I have explained in simple words what set data structure is and how we can use this in competitive programming. As you could see how easily we solve this problem in very few lines of codes. We could easily solve this problem using sets. So yeah, I hope I was able to explain this properly, and if there is any comment or any feedback for me, please leave that in the comment section below. Also check out my channel for similar other videos, and yeah, thanks for watching this video guys.